morning once again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to The Workplace. I'm Mary Beth Nave, and today we will be talking about amazing artifacts and, of course, exhibits and an amazing contest right now for those of you who are really into social media. So our next very special guest is the curator of the Yuchengco Museum. So please welcome Miss Jeannie Javelosa.
Hello.
Hello, ma'am. Good morning po. Could you tell us more about also the Yuchengco Museum? Like, what is it about and what is it promoting today?
The Yuchengco Museum is located at the RCBC Plaza, central to the business district. And we've been there for 10 years. You won't miss us because outside there's a huge monument of the spirit of EDSA, #2, no? So the Yuchengco Museum has been highlighting different kinds of exhibits and events. But what is highlighted specific for why we're here talking about it is our very first digital gallery in the country.
Oh, okay.
And our partner for this is Samsung. So we have a Samsung digital gallery. And while we exhibit in the museum different kinds of paintings, fabrics, textiles, highlighting 3 themes, which are focused on bridging cultures. So we have international shows. We also have things related to art as design and design as art. And likewise, Filipino-Chinese themes, because our patron is Filipino-Chinese. No?
Yes.
So with the space there, we want to be able to use the museum as a place for education, a place where people can come together to learn new things. And with the digital gallery, which we are in partnership with Samsung, we've been very clear about the direction we want to take. We wanted to go deeper into the space of social media and the new media so that we can be relevant. You know, art needs to be relevant with the next generation.
Yes.
And unfortunately, our country is not a museum-going public. Unlike other countries abroad where you have people lining up just to enter museums,
That's true.
our country is not that way. So we need to do a lot of things so that people can come in and enjoy what we have. When you think about the entrance of our museum, it's only 100 pesos. Cheaper than a movie, cheaper than, you know,
Eating out.
Eating out. So it's how do you now draw the young to be able to say there's a little bit of beauty, there's a lot of more quiet time in the
Yes.
museum. There's a beautiful space there that you can actually get inspired from if you're an artist also, or a writer, for example. And we have a lot of talks. So I think that we need to be able to talk to the young about the museum and about art and culture. And this is what we're trying to do with Samsung. Because with our gallery, the first in the country, we are highlighting the Samsung gallery, digital gallery at the Yuchengco Museum. We highlight new works. So we have interactive works. We have had exhibitions on augmented reality, where
Wow.
you put up the iPad and then you see the artwork changing because of
Really?
the application
Wow.
that Samsung has created for the art that is there of an artist. So we have all these new different things. There's interactives where you can draw
Okay.
as part of the exhibition. So your art piece is part of our exhibit. And we're scheduling a number of other things continuous with regards to digital art. So it's exciting.
And very interesting.
It's very interesting, and also because we really are the only one at this point in the country
doing it,
with a
right.
digital gallery.
The
Because of this
pioneering,
partnership. Yes, it's exciting in that sense. Likewise, the Yuchengco Museum was, on record, I'd like to say we were the very first one who actually launched a whole bloggers
Bloggers Network?
experience.
Okay.
When we had a year and a half ago, maybe, or 2 years ago, when we had the birthday of Jose Rizal, his 150th birth anniversary, if I'm not mistaken, we launched Rizalizing the Future. And we were the very first museum in the country that actually had a whole group of bloggers before we opened, and everybody was just tweeting and blogging, and that's really what got me excited. Because how now do we use media, the new media, to be able to speak about oftentimes traditional messages, oftentimes values, cultural values which people think are boring,
Right.
Sometimes they think art and culture is just for painting on the wall, but really there's so much more. And so with this partnership, again, we're pushing it a little bit more forward in that in front of the Yuchengco Museum is a monument spirit of EDSA 2. And that is by our nationalist sculptor Eduardo Castrillo, who passed away just 2 months ago. And unfortunately, he was supposed to be starting, celebrating his 50th year anniversary as an artist come October, but he didn't reach it.
Yes.
So we felt, let's continue
What
the
he wanted to
whole
do.
year's celebration.
Yes.
Launching it on October officially, but gearing up with this Instagram competition.
Okay.
So it's really about the museum as a space, partnering with Samsung as a digital provider, trying to see how we can interact with the young and let the young feel relevant, especially when the topic of our photo competition is public art.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what do the young generation now? What can they do? How do they join this contest?
Okay, it's all the information is in our website and the Facebook of the Yuchenko Museum. We are bringing out a lot of information also in all the major newspapers about this. But let me give you more what we'd like from the competition.
Okay,
because
please do.
it's really quite easy to join it. But what do we want from this? You know, people don't see monuments. When they go to work, it's everywhere. There's a Rizal Monument, there's a Bonifacio Monument. And almost majority of our national heroes, monuments were created by Eduardo Castrillo.
Oh.
And few know this.
Yes.
You know, they forget the People Power Monument in EDSA, that's his. The Jose Rizal at the actual place where the hero died in Bagumbayan Field is his. The big Bonifacio in Manila is his. There's everywhere. And yet people don't see, they don't know, right?
They take it for granted
they
as
take
well.
it for granted. You ride the bus, you go to work, you're passing People Power Monument. And there behind that monument, however, is a symbol of a story of our race. It is a symbol of the best of us as Filipinos, that we rose up for a peaceful revolution. And so we want to be able to let the young now join us in celebrating this 50th year of the artist, sculptor, to see how can they also feel relevant with history. How can a public art symbol mean anything to them? What does it do to their own values as Filipinos, right? Because public art is a symbol that you see, but it is about something, a person, an event, a value that is timeless in us. And we want to keep this going through this competition, because this is the vision of the sculptor, to be able to create pieces of art that can further the legacy of racial pride. And that's very hard for the young to understand.
Yes, yes.
But they will have fun by taking pictures.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, we
So,
all love taking pictures nowadays before we
Everybody.
eat, everywhere. You know, the moment you wake up.
Everybody. So Samsung has joined us with this, and in the Instagram, Samsung Culture Connect, Castrillo 50, no, that's the hashtag. We're launching this competition starting August. I think the information campaign is happening now, but by August is the whole month of photo taking. And it's really about finding one or more of these 15 monuments we've identified around the country, mostly Metro Manila, but there are a number outside the country also. And then they take a photograph and then they hashtag this so that we can pick it up. We have a Filipino-Chinese photographer named Feng Yu, and he does 360 photographs. He's going to be the head judge for this, yes. And he likewise is also going to go around the country with this 360 view Samsung gadget that's very new, not yet out in the market, I believe, and really take the monuments.
Okay.
So this is Samsung CSR, because they want to be able to see how can they document history, culture, legacy, heritage. We had with the Samsung group what we called Samsung Culture Connect, and it was about parks.
Okay.
That was last year. Okay. So the second one is public art.
Nice.
Yeah. So it also aligns with Castrillo's 50th year anniversary. So hashtagging this monument from an angle, whichever way can be artistic, it can also just be simply a documentation, and to tell people what the monument means to them is part of the competition. Anybody can give up to 3 entries.
Okay.
And there are 2 categories, which are amateur and professional.
Oh, there we go. Because I was
Okay.
wondering about that. Like, you have professional photographers
Yes.
out there. You have people who just, love to selfie a lot. So
Right.
at least now there is a
There's
division.
two
Okay.
different categories, and there are two sets of prices. I'm sure you can, Samsung will give out that list of prices. And it's a go. I mean, you just go with your phone or your camera and then Instagram it. You got to Instagram it because our objective is here. When people see, people will know more about the art, public art, no? People will join in the celebration for Castrillo at 50. And really, the direction of Castrillo at 50 is how can we renew through art that he has done our racial pride? How can we now consistently talk about a huge, beautiful monument, for example, in the Parian district in Cebu, where it was the heritage of Christianity. That is seven floors high and as big as 2 basketball courts.
Wow.
And it's over there, and people, not everybody knows about this. Or to walk down Rizal Park, and then you will see the whole tableau of the martyrdom of Jose Rizal, and the heroes form dying at the exact place where he died, at Bagumbayan. These are key issues that as Filipinos we forget, because we look for heroes that are
Currently,
actors, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you really look for heroes from animation to actors to all sorts of heroes, when there are around us reminders to get the best of the heroes.
That's
and
true.
make it ours.
That's true.
So we all become heroes for our country. This is what the message of Castrillo was trying to say ever since, to the point where he was donating a lot of his artworks in the regions, in the provinces, so to democratize art in Metro Manila. So you have monuments in Bacolod, in Cebu, in Davao, in Cagayan de Oro. There's like all over the country, because this was really the vision. The common people must appreciate something and stand higher with pride. People who go abroad in foreign countries, you see huge castles, right?
Yes.
Huge monuments. Even in Asia, you go to Borobudur, or you go to the Great Wall of China. Yeah? You have huge pieces. And here, symbols are hard to get by. And so that was his real direction as his legacy.
Just to remind everyone of the history of the Philippines. And again, it's not just because it happened in our past, but it happened to our country. So if you really are Filipino and you love this country, it should be instilled in you.
It should be instilled in you. More than just the event, also it is what is the value behind that.
Right.
Like when you look at the beautiful Ermita monument, where you have the actual monument along Malate, where you have Raja Sulaiman swirling. Yes. That's about defending your space.
Yes.
Which we just did with our islands right now, right? Recently, the biggest event that we've had has been, how do we keep our islands with us? This is the pride that Raja Sulaiman had in that swirl when he looks out in Manila Bay, and you have that sculptor of Castrillo looking so dynamic. This is what it's about. You have Rizal twisting in his actual moment to remind us that you are being martyred for your belief against a colonizing force. You have Bonifacio there in Manila, with his bolo, and it's a tableau. It's not in the round sculpture, but it's a tableau. And you have the fight and the passion that we all stand for when we want our democracy, it's part of us.
It captures that particular moment, and for us to not forget that we have a fighting spirit in every single one of us.
That's exactly what it is about. And this is his legacy, which we want to celebrate. And we're very happy in the Yuchengco Museum that Samsung is aligned with us. And the reason we're also doing this in the Yuchengco Museum is because across us, outside the museum, is the spirit of EDSA too.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Now, that story is very interesting because that's the second people power monument. When that whole building was being built, our patron, Ambassador Alfonso Yuchengco, said to Castrillo, change your abstract fountain design. There was a fountain there, it was abstract, okay?
Yes.
which was approved by the architects and everyone. And Ambassador Yuchenko said, no, 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 I want it people power. But everyone was saying, we already have people power in EDSA. But he goes, I want people power. Okay, so the sculptor changed it again, and it became Spirit of EDSA 2, right? Do you know, right after that was finished, the real second EDSA happened. So this is an example. What we have there is, it is actually a monument before the event.
Right,
you know,
right.
monuments are often created after an event to commemorate.
Yes.
The RCBC Spirit of EDSA was created before the actual event surprisingly happened. Remember, it was a surprise.
Yes.
When we all, through text, went to
EDSA.
EDSA. This is the story. And that's, we felt we have a major monument in front of us. This is about public art. This is about a sculptor who is often not known too much because he's very quiet and a loner, right? But whose message, what he really wanted, was very strong. And this is our role. And through technology, it allows us to move it to the young, move it forward, you know. And when you put it on Instagram, that's always going to be there.
That's true.
That's nice, don't you think so?
Yes, because again, anything you upload in social media will remain there for a really long time.
And we're very happy that Samsung is looking at more than just this Instagram competition, in that photographer doing the 360 degrees.
Yes.
Whatever he can get, we will put up for exhibition and maybe have a traveling show for the schools on public art.
Oh, that is interesting.
Yes, and nice thing is other parts of the celebration incorporate. There will be an essay writing contest about Philippine nationalism and values inspired by Castrillo monuments. There's a number of exhibitions set up. So there's quite a lot happening starting October of 2015 all the way down. And the Samsung Instagram, Samsung Culture Connect Castrillo at 50 is the kickoff event.
Again, and it's going to happen throughout the entire month of August.
Of August. Is the photo time. You got to go out there, take a photograph, understand where it is, you know, and then hashtag it, send it over to us, and our judge, their photographers, all of them, will be inviting other judges too, are going to be the judges.
Okay, so they just have to go to the Yuchenko Museum website in order to find out further details on the contest.
Right. And also we're trying to post it in the Castrillo, Eduardo Castrillo Facebook page, and we're trying to set up a event page.
Okay.
So there will be ways and means, and they can always just call us or visit the museum also, and we will give information about it.
All right, this is really exciting.
It's new.
It is.
Yeah.
And you are the pioneering once again. And that's something interesting about the Monument of EDSA too. I didn't know about that.
Okay. A lot don't know that.
Yeah,
so
thank you
there are
for
stories behind all the monuments. Like, just to share something really funny was the People Power, the one in EDSA, okay? So they were about to cut the ribbon, you know, and so they called the sculptor at around 4 a.m. or something like that. And they were saying, you have to come because there's this man up there above Inang Bayan and he won't come down. And we have our cutting of the ribbon with the public and everything by noon or something like that. So Ed Castrillo said, that's okay. And they were panicking. They sent the wife to talk to the guy. It's a little, you know, he was up there because he kept saying, I was part of EDSA, I should be here. Anyway, he was on top of Inang Bayan, okay? So anyway, so the sculptor comes and he says, it's okay, it's okay. And everyone's saying, but how is he going to come down? It's okay. And he lights a cigarette and they sit there. By 9, by 10, the guy is burning because the brass was so hot. And he came down. And everybody was saying, oh, we didn't know that. And the sculptor was just laughing. He goes, he'll come down, you watch. He'll come down. And true enough, he was burning because he was in shorts. And the whole brass monument was so hot because of the sun. Okay. But this shares human stories.
Yes.
For somebody like that man to climb above Inang Bayan to say, I should be part of this because I was part of EDSA and People Power. And this is what monuments do.
That's true.
This is what public art does. And this is what we'd like to share with the young. Take a look at the public art. Don't pass it through. And as you look at it, maybe take a nice angled photo, reflect about the story, about the way it's created. You know, you might want to know a little bit more about the sculptor, right?
And how it could also impact one's life, right?
And how it can impact your own life. Yeah.
So it's very, very interesting. Thank you so much for being here and sharing that beautiful perspective, and of course all the events that will happen in Yuchengco Museum. And of course we'd like to invite everybody to visit it. Actually, when I need quiet time, I go to museums.
You should.
So again, Yuchengco Museum is open from when to when?
We're open Mondays to Saturdays. We start off at around 9 o'clock to around 6. And it's really 100 pesos to enter and 50 pesos if you're a student and senior. So you show us your card. It's really very friendly. It's cheaper than all the others, and it's a nice time to spend at afternoon or a couple of hours. There are a lot of scheduled exhibits and talks, workshops, and they're not expensive. So I think it's education
that's worth investing in.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a pocket money you give, right?
That's true. Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Jeannie, for being here.
Thank you also for this
ladies
chance.
and gentlemen, if you'd like to check out again, the Yuchengco Museum is open from Mondays to Saturdays. And aside from that, please do join their workshops and their seminars and their forums. And do join also the August photo contest. Again, it is Samsung
Culture Connect Castrillo at 50.
There we go. So that's going to be the entire month of August. So you can already use your mobile devices, your cameras, and just really upload not just a photo of the different monuments, but basically how it's also changed your life, or maybe even your family's life, if you know they've been a part of this, and just really to share that to the rest of the country and also to the world that, you know, these monuments are here in our country and can't be found anywhere else. So I hope you guys can be a part of that. So once again, we'd like to thank everybody else who's been watching The Workplace, and also our partners and sponsors. So we'd like to also thank David Salon, Nurture Wellness Village, People Management Association of the Philippines, Philippine Daily Inquirer, Elorde, Top Boxing Gym, and also Gold Gym. Thank you guys so very much. I'm Mary Beth Nave, and we'll see you again in our next episode. Bye, guys.